Hello friends, welcome back on my channel. Let's start learning with me. I am Pradeep Garg and we are discussing Angular. This is our third video. So before moving to our course outline, just one request. Please follow the proper COVID protocols. And please like, subscribe and share this video so that at home someone can learn with me. In our first video, we had discussed what is Angular and the software and the skill requirement. In video 2, we have discussed in detail single page versus multi-page application, and we have also discussed about how to set up an Angular environment, like to install Node.js and the Visual Studio Code. And we have also created a new application using the ng-new command. But further moving into the implementation part, we need to discuss some fundamental concepts of an Angular, which we are going to discuss in our video 3, which contains the Angular compilation process, Angular blocks, module component, directives, etc., and the Angular architecture. Let's understand the overview of Angular compilation process. The application source code, from my source code, my mean is that the component, services, directives, modules are written in the TypeScript. We have already discussed Angular is in a TypeScript based language and its framework is also written in the TypeScript. So let's discuss first what is TypeScript. TypeScript is superset of JavaScript. In JavaScript, we don't have classes, interface, data types. So TypeScript provides such strong feature which increase the maintainability of code. So TypeScript add data type, optional type safety, classes and interface to the JavaScript. As we have already discussed, TypeScript basically enhance the maintainability of your code, because now we are going to use classes interface within the JavaScript. Okay, but now problem with the the problem with the TypeScript, our browser are designed in a such way so that they can understand only the JavaScript. But in Angular, we are using TypeScript. So we need one compiler which can convert our TypeScript code into the JavaScript. So we have one compiler, TypeScript compiler, TSC, which convert the same into the JavaScript. Okay, so the TypeScript compiler process the TypeScript code and convert the same into the JavaScript. So the next point is the HTML view. We have already discussed the relation between the application data and the design part, how they are linked, how their connectivity we can establish through the property. So the HTML content within the Angular is also need to be converted into the JavaScript, and also for that Angular provide one compiler which convert the HTML code into the JavaScript. So now we have a JavaScript code, then this JavaScript code is executed and create the DOM elements. So now we have a complete UI on our browser. The benefit of converting our HTML code into the JavaScript is that through the scripting language we can easily manipulate the any kind of an element which is rendered on UI, and we can manipulate the data as well through the scripting language. Like we have one field which is represent the username, and corresponding to that we have a property in the component. If we are going to change the property value in the component, it automatically going to reflect in the HTML view. So I hope now we are clear with how Angular code compilation process happen and how we are getting the output on our browser. So hello friends, we are going to discuss Angular elements, or we can say the Angular block. So Angular block is a fundamental concept of an Angular, and it must to have at least a basic knowledge about the Angular elements before directly jump into the implementation part. In this slide, I am providing some brief information about the each Angular element. So the first element which we are going to discuss is in a component. So component is in a TypeScript class which contains the application data and the event handler method. We have already discussed the same in our previous videos, where we have discussed the code segregation part, how the code is linked with each other, how component link within a template. Okay, so component is in a TypeScript class which contains the application data and the event handler method. A single screen can contain multiple components, and in general every screen contains a multiple component. Yes, we can use a single component to design a complete screen, but it always recommended to use single component for each block of that page. Like in any application, like on any page, we have there are number of components like the header, navigation bar, left panel, footer, and the place where we are going to show our content. So for each of that we need to create, and we are going to create one component. Component contain application data. And how the application data is in terms of form properties. And event are, what is the event handler? Event handler is the some kind of a click event, like on save, click, on delete click, which is ultimately action performed against the user actions, like user is going to perform some action on UI. And the second block is template. Template contains the design logic, the HTML logic to present the output on the browser. Template can access all the properties and method present in the component class because they are connected with each other, as we have already discussed. Definitely we will discuss how they are connected with each other, how template is going to access the property of component. So now, as we discuss, the template can access the property of component. Like we have an employee property, and for that we have one field on HTML page. When we are going to change any value of that property, is ultimately going to reflect on the UI. But how template perform some action based on change in the property. So for that we are going to discuss our third Angular element, which is data binding. So component and the template, they are linked with each other through the data binding. We have two types of binding. This one is a property binding and second one is an event binding. We will discuss the same about the property binding and the event binding in our next slide, where we are going to discuss Angular architecture. So just for the data binding, what we can discuss as on the template, if we have any text box present, and corresponding to that we have a property, when we are going to enter any value in the text box, it ultimately going to set the value in the property, and the vice versa also possible. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the next module, which is name called as a module. Module are used to group the related component, or we can say module is in a collection of component. Like in any application, in generally in application we have a multiple modules, like we have a user module, and we might have an admin module. Module can be categorized based on the role, and based on the functionality. So module is basically it used to club one kind of a feature. Module also contain services directive as well. Okay, so module, we can say module is a complete feature which contains multiple components, services and directives. So as we are talking about services, so our next module is services. Services are the business contains the business logic and the API calls, or we can say the AJAX call. As we discussed, Angular is the front end application which is not going to directly link contact with the database, and for that what we are going to do, we are using the AJAX call or the REST API calls to get the data. Excuse me. For example, we have one page where we are going to show the user list. So, and for the user list, what we are going to do, we are going to create one service which contains some business logic and the API call, and which further getting the data from the database or the third party and provide the data to our component. Okay, so services are used to write some business logic and for our AJAX calls. I hope now we are clear with the component, template, services and the module. So now the question is that how service is going to provide data to the component. Okay, because we are getting data from the database through the services, and we can say through the AJAX calls. And on the received data, we are going to perform some business logic, but ultimately we have to show the same on the UI, and template is linked within a component. So ultimately we need to provide the data to the component. So how services is going to provide data to the component? And for that, what we are going to use, dependency injection. So dependency injection is the concept of creating service object at runtime automatically and loading those service object into the constructor of the component. I'm repeating again, dependency injection is a concept of creating service object. We are going to create service object at runtime and loading the service into the component. Yes, you are right. We are creating an instance of service and loading the same into the component through the constructor. I hope now we are clear how services are providing data to the component. So our next part is directives. In Angular, it's always recommended never to write any DOM manipulation within directly into the Angular. It's always recommended. But in some cases, like for the collapsible panel, to expand draggable part, we need to do some DOM manipulation things. For that, it's always recommended to use directives. Yes, we can do the same into the component, where through the JavaScript we can write some JavaScript code as well within the component, and through that we can manipulate the template, or we can say we can manipulate the HTML elements, but that's not the good practice. For that, please, we have to use directives. So now I hope we are clear with all the part of Angular elements and blocks. So now we are going to discuss Angular architecture. In this section, we are going to discuss Angular architecture by using this diagram, which is available on angular.io. The link is provided in the description box. On the angular.io website, all the details are also available related to the Angular elements or the Angular blocks, like the component, templates and services. All details are available. Please go through that for more details. So in the component and the template, as we have already discussed in our previous slide, how they are going to uh, link with each other through the property binding and the event binding. If we are going to change anything at the component and we just want to reflect the same on the UI, for that we are going to use property binding. And in case if we want to going to perform some operation on the UI, and based on that we want to perform some action, for that we are going to use event binding. And metadata is some additional information about the template and the component. As we already discussed in our previous slides, the DOM manipulation operation is not recommended to directly write down into the Angular, but for some kind of an operation where we need a DOM manipulations like the draggable, expand, collapse, model, pop-up, for that, but we are going to use directives. Here we are going to get the data through the services by using the dependency injector. Dependency injector is a concept to create an instance during the runtime in the component constructor. Okay, and this complete part is in a one container which is called as a module. We will discuss all the details in our implementation part. So guys, thanks for watching this video. So in our next video, which I'm going to upload soon, most probably by this Sunday, and that will be little small because in with that video we are just only discussing Angular folder structure, and after that we will start our implementation part. So again, thanks for like, subscribe and share my channel. I hope you are learning with me. Please comment your feedback, and if you have any question, please let me know through the comment box. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay home.